We have never dealt with anything like this in the history of our show.
ABC has finally confirmed that Tayshia will be joining this season of The Bachelorette, and we're breaking down all the latest details. Hey guys, welcome back to another shared news from home. We have to talk about the latest promo for The Bachelorette. But before we get into it, if you're new here, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell so you don't miss out on any future updates. As always, I'm your host, Fiona Zaring, and I'm joined by the wonderful Avery Grooms and Gabby Gonta.
Hi.
Hey. Hello, you guys. So there is literally so much to talk about from this new teaser. I feel like it is truly the moment we have been waiting for. I feel like we should just dive right in and start breaking this down. It starts off with some moments that we're already a little familiar with, some things we may have seen before, but let's just start at the beginning. We have that moment where Chris Harrison tells Clare that the path they're on is not going to end well. Let's take a look.
The path we're on right now, it doesn't end well for anybody.
I've just waited so long for this.
Okay.
So, Avery, I am dying to get your take on this. It feels like Chris Harrison looks like the most exhausted, parent, school teacher. I don't know how to describe it, but I just feel like this was such a tough moment.
Yes, he definitely looks exhausted. I think he's just stressed and overwhelmed with just the huge plot twist and just even doing a whole season in quarantine in general. But this is something new for him. He's not going off his normal lines like this is the most dramatic season ever. Now he's here saying she blew up The Bachelor. So I could see how this is taking a toll on him.
Absolutely. Well, yeah, let's watch that moment. We have seen it before, but let's watch the moment Chris tells Clare that she blows up The Bachelorette and the confusion that follows suit.
You've just blown up The Bachelorette.
This is hard.
Claire's gone, and I still haven't fully comprehended what the hell's going on.
So, Gabby, a lot of tears, a lot of emotions, a lot of confusion. I mean, we've really never seen anything like this. The anticipation is just killing me.
It's killing me too. I think this path that Chris, says that we're on has to do with Clare falling so hard for Dale and the guys noticing and not being okay with it. So the tensions are just building and building. And I think they see that going on. And so, I think Chris comes and tells her, we need to finish this. We need to end this. We need to pivot, I guess. And so tears are flowing for sure. And it's interesting that one of the guys says Clare is leaving. I think that's a good, key to what we're going to see next week after this promo.
Totally. Avery, do you have any predictions as to where Clare is going? Is she taking some space? Is she running away? I mean, what do we think she's doing?
Probably running off with Dale to get her fairy tale ending, I hope. That's the best possible outcome I could think of. I don't know where else she would be going. Maybe home. Looks like she's leaving for sure now, so she's definitely out of there. We'll have to see.
Yes, we will definitely have to see. Obviously, there are so many questions that will hopefully be tied up just next week. I think this was a very expected turn of events, but the guys clearly have reached their limit. It seems like they're starting to really lose it in this next clip.
What about me? Just tell me. That's all I want to know. This is a two-way street. You're going to start seeing a different side of me. It's frustrating as hell. I'm going to freak the
I mean... These are some guys that have, I feel like, really displayed such a level of maturity. If you really think about it, there hasn't been a lot of drama. Even the confrontation we have seen has been fairly measured. For them to finally get to this place, I mean, Avery, I feel like this makes sense. This tracks to me. Do you feel like these reactions are warranted?
Yes, especially given the situation. They're already just isolated in this one place all together. They had to go through all the quarantine, the COVID testing, and they finally made it to this point, and now this is how it's playing out. I mean, I could only imagine the frustration level.
Yeah, I agree. I think these guys are boiling under this tension that is building. We're starting to even see fights or, disagreements happening between the guys when they all seemed to be in a pack together earlier on in some of the other episodes. So I'm interested to see what happens, between those guys and as well with Dale and, how he fits into the mix of these guys. But at this point, I feel like they're just feeling really invisible and unwanted with Clare. And so that's going to take a toll on them. They're not going to want to be here anymore. And things are just going to get really confusing really fast.
That's totally right, Gabby. I mean, in this next clip, it is so evident that the guys are just drained.
Doesn't seem to make sense to me right now. You can tell that guys are getting drained, getting fed.
I mean, I am someone who is watching this, looking for clues. Of course, we're all tracking every moment of the show, and I'm so confused. Can you imagine how it must feel for them to go through this process? I feel like, how could you even sum up these emotions, Gabby?
I mean, just look at his face. That was a great place to stop this promo, because I think that truly sums it up. These guys are just, all gathered in the living room, slumped over on the couch, saying they're so confused, they don't know what's happening. They're clearly just trying to do their best on this show, and it's not going well for them.
Avery, do you hope, we haven't, I feel like, even gotten to know these guys too well, because we're only on episode 3, even though I feel like it feels like 16 episodes in. We're only on episode 3, but do you hope, knowing what we now know, what the clips we're approaching, that they stick around, that they're the guys, that we get to know them better, and that hopefully some of them, have another chance at love?
I really do. I feel like even up until this point, this group of guys has almost been a calmer group of guys. I feel like if this was a different season and this happened, there would be a huge uproar, and they've been handling the whole situation pretty well. We haven't seen the next episode, obviously. I know tensions are a lot higher then, but overall, they've been kind of chill about it. I think it's really a good group of guys, so I hope most of them stay for Tayshia.
Good group of guys or not, they definitely seem like they have a confrontational moment with Clare, which I feel like is warranted, but it looks like we got a little sneak peek of that as well.
We put ourselves on the line, we did everything you asked.
So we did everything you asked. I mean, Avery, they really did. They showed up. They've quarantined. It just feels like at this point they deserve some answers.
They really do. They deserve better at this point. They deserve a Bachelorette that is going to pay attention to them and give them attention like they do deserve, as every contestant should going on a reality show that they signed up for. But she took a different turn.
Yeah, I really feel for these guys. In this week's episode, it was so clear to see every time they were on a date card or they got a date, they got to spend time with Clare, they were so excited. And they're really putting, their whole selves out there. These guys really like Clare. They want to get a chance to know her and to talk to her. She's really, hasn't given it to them at all. So I feel for them. I would totally feel the way they do if I was in this situation, and justice for this group of guys in The Bachelor. They deserve better.
I feel like we all definitely are feeling like there is an apology that they are owed. It looks like Clare sort of gives an apology, sort of gives an explanation. She's definitely talking about something here. I'm curious to see how it'll actually play out, but let's check out this clip.
I'll apologize if I wasted your time. I'll apologize if I hurt you.
Why am I here?
So, I mean, great question. Why are they here? And I feel like I want your take on this, Gabby. Feels like that's the kind of apology somebody gives when there's a but coming. I'll apologize for this and I'll apologize for this, but I won't apologize for this. Do you think this seems like it's going to be a sincere moment?
I think this might become a sincere moment. I think Clare might at first seem a little caught off guard by these guys' feelings, just because she's been so one-track minded on Dale. She probably doesn't even know what's going on, besides that. But I think this apology is warranted. Technically she did waste these guys' time if she didn't give them, their moment to really get to know them, like we saw in this week's episode as well. And so I hope this moment, gives the guys some closure, maybe, if that's what they're looking for, or just another chance, an apology, just something to wrap everything up with their relationships.
Totally. Well, we see, I mean, wrapping the relationships up definitely is a possibility here. We don't know that everyone is going to stay for Tayshia, and we do see some guys packing in this next clip.
Everything crumbled in an instant.
What the just happened?
So clearly it looks like next week we're going to be on a roller coaster with these guys, waiting for answers, waiting to see what comes next. Avery, do you think the producers are going to put them through like packing up, getting ready to leave, and then they'll be presented with the option to either go or stay? Like, how do we think producers are going to handle this?
I think they'll definitely make them pack first just for dramatic effect, and then that's where the huge twist comes in. Wait, no, there's a new Bachelorette, and then they probably will roll their backpacks right back in and unpack. But I think it's more for like dramatic effect. Or other guys might want to just leave if they know it's Tayshia. Who knows?
Totally. What are your thoughts, Gabby? Do you think anyone will be like, you know what? Tayshia seems like a great girl, but after that, I just want to go home. I just want to be done. How do you think the guys will react?
I think that's a very real possibility. And I mean, we've never seen this before. So these guys came on the show for Clare, and now that it's, you know, possibly not going to be Clare anymore, they could certainly not have any feelings for Tayshia and not want to pursue that relationship. I feel like most guys would be very excited to do that and at least get another chance on the show after all they've been through. But yeah, I think some are going to go home. I think, you know, we saw multiple clips of guys packing out. So I think there's going to be some guys that for sure leave this group.
Well, we do have Chris Harrison, you know, talking to the guys, playing Mayor of Bachelor Nation. Let's see what Chris has to say.
We have never dealt with anything like this in the history of our show.
That to me is just such a Chris Harrison line. We have never dealt with anything like this before. But honestly, I feel like you can see it on his face. You can hear it in his voice. Like, this really is unprecedented. Do you think, Avery, if this season ends up being like the best ratings or, you know, fans are obsessed at the end of it, that this is something they'll continue? Or when the world gets back to normal, are we going to see just a regular reboot of the show as well?
I guess that depends on how this one plays out. So far, it definitely is not my favorite season. I think they could maybe try this in the future, or they'll go back to their traditional format of the show, or they'll try something new again. I honestly don't know. We'll have to see.
Gabby, what are your thoughts? Are you into, like, drama aside, you know, characters aside, do you like this, like, one location kind of bubble pressure cooker, or are we missing some of the flash, some of the regular Bachelor pizzazz?
I think we're definitely missing some of the pizzazz. I think this was a good shakeup for the show, and I'm sure it'll help ratings, definitely. And so I'm sure they are, like, loving that right now. But it's been a pressure cooker so far. So I think the producers, you know, no matter what, are geniuses. So they're going to come up with drama that's going to keep people watching no matter what.
Okay, so of course we want answers. We're confused. We're doing all the speculations, and I mean, we know the guys are looking for answers as well.
Yeah, I'm confused as all hell. What is next?
Well, what is next, you guys? We finally have concrete proof. It's no longer up for debate. Let's see what's finally here. What an entrance. Gabby, what were your thoughts on that being Tayshia's big reveal, the final confirmation?
When I tell you that my jaw was on the floor when I first saw this, it was. I was so excited that they threw this in at the end to confirm everything and to get us all excited for Tayshia to come on as the Bachelorette. Of course, they nixed the limo thing. They said, you know, this is a whole new season, whole new girl. We're changing everything up. We're going to do it out of the pool shot. It seemed very Palm Springs-esque. So I thought it was perfect. I'm so excited to see her more on our screens.
Yes, I'm definitely excited to see her. I think it'll be refreshing. I think Clare's time is coming to an end, as it should. It felt longer than it actually was. But I love how they just threw this in at the end with no voiceover, not explaining anything, just a pool shot, boom, Tayshia. And I think that was the best way to do it, actually.
Totally. I mean, we knew this was coming. We knew she was going to get here. These have been rumors that have been swirling for such a long time. But until ABC gave us some sort of confirmation, we of course were going to be on the edge of our seats. And I totally agree with you. I think this was the best way to do it because we don't really have any answers. We don't know how she gets there. We don't know what capacity she's fully there in. They didn't give us any sort of like, I'm taking over. So we still have some questions, which at the end of the day, as much as we want to know everything, as much as we wish we knew all the secrets and all the details, that would take all of the fun out of it. So at least we have something to look forward to. So you guys, one final question, because I mean, we obviously don't have any answers to this, but I am curious your take. This is going to be a whole new show, basically. We've never had this happen before. Do we think they're going to stick to the regular format, of one-on-ones and group dates and rose ceremonies? Do we expect to see some shakeups there? We heard rumors of new guys joining. What are your thoughts on how they're going to navigate this? Because we're in completely uncharted territory. Do you have any predictions, Avery?
I think it'll be a little bit of both, sticking to what they usually do and throwing in some things to shake it up. As far as that goes, I don't know what the producers are going to come up with, but I know there's going to be many more surprises. I mean, there always is.
I think, they're going to need some switch ups to keep this season as spicy as it's been. But what I'm really excited to see is, diving into Tayshia's backstory with the show. Because, they're going to have to really get into that and introducing her as the Bachelorette. So, I'm sure we'll look back at times of her on Colton season and then recently when she was on Paradise and was with John Paul Jones for a little bit. So it'll be fun to look back on that and just see where she continues her journey in this franchise.
I couldn't agree more. You guys, on that note, we want to know all of your thoughts. What do you think is to come next week? What are you expecting Tayshia's time on the show to look like? And are you excited? Are you ready for Tayshia to take over? Let us know down in the comments. And if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell so you don't miss out on any future videos. And if you haven't already, be sure to click right over here to watch our latest Bachelor recap. As always, I'm your host, Fiona Zaring. You can follow me on socials at Fiona Zaring. And Avery, where can they find you?
At Avery Grooms.
And Gabby, where can they find you?
You can follow me at Gabby Gonta.
Amazing. Thanks, you guys. And thank you for watching. We will see you next time. Bye.